What's up, family? Man, I want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys. Man, we got to grow up. We have to grow up. And you're going to grow up. I promise you that. You're going to grow up. Man, I just got out the shower. It was a long, hot shower. Man, my eyes are bloodshot red because I let the water run into my eyes just to rinse all the dirt and the dust out. But man, it is what it is, you know. At what cost? At what cost? You know what I mean? Man, I remember as a kid growing up, man, I prided myself on being hard-headed, you know? I prided myself on getting the most whippings and getting in trouble the most, you know what I mean? Man, I love that as a kid I did, growing up, that I was the one always in trouble. I was the one always getting my ass beat, getting put on restrictions, and I didn't give a damn, you know, because I was going to do what the fuck I wanted to do, when I wanted to, how I wanted to, where I wanted to, and you can say what you want to say, but I was going to do what I want to do. I would get my ass beat, get put on restriction. That didn't stop shit. I was climbing out the window. You know what I mean? I'm going to do what I want to do. And I had to learn the hard way. Stay with me, we're going somewhere. I had to learn the hard way. And man, it hurt. You know what I mean? It hurt. I remember my beautiful late wife, Cecilia, you know, she passed away in 2015 from breast cancer. And it's a trip because she was drop dead gorgeous. Damn, she was beautiful, you know what I mean? And she went through some stuff in her life, you know, and she had this hang up about getting undressed in front of me. She didn't like the way her body looked. Beautiful body, but she had issues with it. Stay with me. And this is not about putting her down or anything of that nature. I'm just sharing a story, sharing her experience in hopes that it helps some people. I remember one day, Cecilia and I were sitting in the car at work. We were both supervisors, and this is probably like 2010, and we're sitting there and we're talking, and she was mad about her body, you know, and just mad at God and resenting God because she couldn't get rid of, you know, the tiny belly fat that she had. And she didn't have no belly fat, but in her mind, you couldn't tell her. You know that, you know. And we're sitting there, we're chopping it up. And she was mad at God because she had 3 boys, and she had C-sections on all of them, and she had the knife wound right there and just the scars right there, and just that little area right there she couldn't get rid of, and no matter what she did, she couldn't get rid of that. And that would eat her up, and because of that, man, she didn't like getting dressed in front of me, undressed. She didn't like taking showers and none of that with me, right? And all that stemmed from her previous relationship with her kid's father, and it is what it is. And I remember talking to her in the car. I was like, Cecilia, babe, you're beautiful. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Why are you tripping off of this? I'm like in love with you. You're like the shit, you know? And nothing I said, nothing I could say made her feel comfortable in her own skin. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere, I promise you. I'm just laying the groundwork, because I talk to so many young women, I talk to so many women, period, who are not comfortable in their own skin. For whatever reason. And I'm telling her, it's like, babe, I'm like blown away at just your beauty, and just, she's like, I know, but you know, and it would start an argument, you know. So it was like I would stop saying anything to her, because she didn't like how she looked. And it didn't matter how many people paid her compliments. You could pay her a compliment, and in her mind, you think she's beautiful only because she has clothes on. But if you saw her scars, you wouldn't think she was beautiful. This is what she fathomed. This is what she thought. This was her logic. At what cost? And so we're sitting there in the car one day and we're chopping it up about all this. And I just looked at her and said, what is it going to take for God to get your attention? What is it going to take for you to stop complaining about this? You have a great job. You're in shape as far as, man, you're healthy. You're beautiful. Healthy kids. A man that adores the fuck out of you. But you're still ungrateful. You're still salty about this thing right here. You got all this going for you, but this one area of your life you can't let go of. This one area of your life got you hung up on. This one area of life got you fucked up. And minimizing and dismissing all the other beautiful things you have going for you. You can't let this one thing go. What is it going to take for God to get your attention for you to let that go? Excuse me, we were having that conversation in 2008. I said, what if you got to hit, you could be in a car accident on the way home and scarred or crippled, whatever. Stop complaining about what you don't like about your life. It's this one tiny thing. It don't mean anything in the grand scheme of life. It's not stopping you from doing anything you want to do. It's not stopping some man, me, from being madly in love with you. She couldn't let it go. 2009, she was rushed to the hospital because of breathing. She couldn't breathe. And there they found a grapefruit-sized lump on the kidneys. On her lung. And they rushed her to the University Medical Center in San Francisco. She was there in the hospital for 10 days. They did the surgery. Before they did the surgery, they ran tests and found out that it was benign. It wasn't cancerous. And we were scared. It was like, oh my God, hoping it's not cancer, you know what I mean? It wasn't cancerous. They were able to remove it. And now she had a scar on her back from where they went in. And for a while, she was like, man, okay, I need to stop tripping about my stomach and man, because I thought I had cancer, and man, what if I died, and da-da-da. And so that was a wake-up call initially. And it lasted maybe a month at max. And she went right back to being the way that she was. Talking about at what cost. 2015, February, found out that she had stage 4 breast cancer. They gave her 6 months to live. Even if they did the chemotherapy and the aggressive chemotherapy and radiation and surgery, the best she could look for was 6 months. She opted out of it. She didn't do the chemo, radiation, or surgery. And she ended up living until December 4th that year. It's a lot longer than what they gave her. But in that process, her breast metastasized, where it opened up and it cauliflowered. And you could see that like the meat and just the tissue on the inside of her breast from the cancer, and it was already spread throughout her lymph nodes, and so she had another gaping hole and thing taking place up under her arm. And so she would walk around the house and she would have her breast exposed, her stomach exposed, just because her breast is metastasized and it was opened up, and she would wrap it up and put cinnamon on it to kill the smell, and frankincense and myrrh and different oils to eliminate the smell. And as I looked at her and I sat there, and the tears would run down my eyes as I went outside. And it's like, man, it took my wife getting breast cancer before she was comfortable, or before she got to the place where she's like, man, fuck my stomach, I don't give a damn about that. This is so much worse than my stomach. This is so much worse than the scar on my back. And so she had to let her breast out. And so she just walked around with, topless. And I'm outside and I'm taking care of the animals. And the tears were running down my eyes as I'm thinking, God, I'm so fucking angry. God, I'm so fucking hurt. I'm so fucking broken. It took all of this for my wife to let that shit go. It took this for her to get comfortable in her own skin. It took this where she got a hole up under her left arm, her left breast is exposed and is ripped open and is just nasty. Look like cauliflower. But this is what it took. This is the price for her to get comfortable in her own skin. And I'll be outside and I'm just taking care of the animals and I'm just talking to God, trying to make sense of it all. This is what it took for her to understand that I loved her, truly, genuinely loved her, beyond her looks. This is what it took for her to understand that I was committed to her through thick and thin. And it wasn't about how pretty she was. This is what it took for her to finally see me. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. This is what it took for her to let down her guards and to stop being so defensive and self-conscious about her belly scar. I'm sharing this story because many of you are holding on to some trauma, some bullshit that you've gone through, whether it's some scars or whatever, and you won't let it go. And I remember Cecilia she sat there in the car in 2008, and she has a right to feel the way she do. Not that she was, don't tell me that I'm wrong for feeling this way. Don't tell me that I need to change my way of thinking. I'm entitled to be mad at God. I'm entitled to be mad and frustrated because my belly looked the way it do, and not nothing I can do to get rid of this. That was her exact words in 2008. 7 years later, she's fighting for her life. 7 years later, she meets the thing that finally humbles her. Breast cancer. What is it going to take for you to stop complaining about your fucking life and to become grateful for all that you have? It took my best friend, my wife, my road dog, my ace, boom, coon, my everything. It took her getting breast cancer and being told that death was inevitable for her and it was coming soon. That's what it took for her to humble herself. That's what it took for her to be broken, to get the right perspective of life. My hope and prayer is that it don't take you getting a death sentence to wake the fuck up. That it don't take you losing the love of your life, knowing that you're gonna miss out on your kids, watching them grow up, watching them get married, looking at them having kids and on and on and on, watching their accomplishments. She missed all of that. Missed all of that. Let that be an example to you. Let that be a warning to you. That if you don't humble yourself and learn to become grateful for what you have and stop whining and crying and complaining about the one thing or whatever it is that's not going right for you in your life, God is going to humble your fucking ass, and it's going to be at any means necessary. See, when Cecilia got the first tumor, I hoped, I prayed that that was it. That's what it took for her to open up her eyes. That's what it took for her to humble herself and to get in alignment. But it didn't work. So many of us, we've gone through losses and just different things as the universe, source, God, the Most High, has tried to get our attention. And he gets our attention initially, but then we get distracted again with the bullshit. And we go right back to how we were. Man. May you grow up. May you humble yourself. May you become grateful and stop complaining about what's not going right for you. I love you guys. Thanks for rocking out with me. Happy healing. Peace.